Now I'm going to get over to percussion. And this is where stuff starts to really take form, right? And percussion is, that's this is a place where you can really start putting your own kind of trademark groove in there, right? So whatever it is that, what kind of habits that you like to use. I have some physical percussion myself. I have actual, physical percussion that I'll play and record on the microphone with every now and then. But of course, I have a whole bunch of, percussion on my computer. And in this case, I'm going to use some, very classic percussion sounds. But percussion is more of a concept than anything at this point. You can pretty much use anything for percussion. From your finger snaps to you know, hitting on a cup or something like that, or a glass or something, or some kind of weird sound. If it just has if it hits within the right place, somewhere in the right place in the frequency, then it goes right. So let's play around with some. I'll do one cowbell rhythm I love doing. I do it all the time. I love doing that all the time. I do all day. So let's do that one. Here we go. Oh, play too much. I was getting into it, man. Huh. One more time. Like. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Right. So the percussion part is where you can actually kind of just leave stuff how it is, or you can kind of use that to sort of induce the groove that you want. So I could just leave this just the way it is. Once I start adding on more and more percussion, it's just gonna take a life of its own, and then I can kind of make adjustments from there. But I'm going to let's quantize this one. Let's try this. Right, so you can see how it really changed the rhythm of what it did. It just put a really robotic swing in there. But however, it's still locked right onto the grid of the program. So that part of it I like too. It's a logistics practical issue. When I want to start copying and copying and pasting stuff, it becomes a lot easier. Because now it's directly on the grid. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to now compromise a little bit with the quantized work by going down to this special little thing here that I have called a Q strength. And so what that does is that it tells the recording that I just did, before I had it on just with no quantization at all, and then I put this 1/16 C swing on there. But now what I'm going to do is tell it to take that quantization and only use 30% of it. Right, and let's see what we get. And you can just see that how things just kind of shifted around. Right, so now it's back to much closer to the groove that I played myself, but it's a little bit more straightened out now. So now I can easily copy and paste it without any real logistical issues. And so I think I'm gonna just kind of keep that the way it is. Maybe I'll bring it up some more. I'll bring it up to 40%, and I'll delay it some. Right. So this little combination of things right here is the actual groove method that I've kind of come up with. So it's a mixture of the software that you have. The software that you use needs to have these types of attributes or qualities. Being able to quantize, you want to be able to delay what you have. There's other ways that you can do that as well. And if there's a way that you can work with the quantization strength or the amount of quantization that you put into your MIDI take, And that is the basic elements of, how you work this groove method. So now we have some percussion. Let's add another track. Put this one in. I'll just put that in there on the last hit. Let's add another one. That'll do. Let's add a shaker. All right. So I didn't even really plan. I just kind of played something. I'll throw an A swing on it. And I will not let it quantize 100%. I'll just do something like that. All right, so now you can hear it's like really straight on the beat, but I also don't want it to swing either. So how do you get kind of, the way that I like to, the way that I kind of achieve this particular kind of groove method is by really, really pushing stuff behind the beat. You're gonna see more of that later on, right? So I'm gonna let you hear it first, just without the delay, right? And now I'm gonna put that 70 back up to 70 ticks. Maybe I'll do some more. This is on 80 ticks, so it's 1/48 of a beat right there. Right, so I still want it to be straight, in terms of like not swinging, but I wanted it to be offset from the beat, so it kind of drags the feeling back to I kind of drags the feeling back, kind of like get you ready for that kick once again, right? Now, speaking of the kick, I'm just gonna add a little something, a little more bounce to this. Put a little more bounce in there. Just gonna ever so slightly push that over. Like that. Oh. 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 Oh, that's getting funky now. Oh. Oh. Turn the percussion down. Let's spread it out a little bit. Take the percussion, put it over here. Cowbells over there. Matter of fact, I'll show you a little trick with that. So I'll take this one. Put that there. And here's a little something special. So you hear this shaker here. I'm going to show you how you can use sample delay to create two really, really cool effects. Pull this open for you. The first one I'm going to do is the actual sample delay, just normal sample delay if I link the left and the right together. Right, so you hear the shaker again. I'm going to now just delay the sample. Right, now I can kind of bring it back to the way that I had it before without using the delay here. So essentially it's just a sample delay what this thing is here, right? But I'm not going to use that. You can use that if you don't have this type of mechanism in your digital audio workstation. But what I actually like to use the sample delay for, let me put this back. I actually like to use this to get like this doubling effect without having to use a chorus effect. It sets the phase, it's like an offset of the phase or something. Right? So now you're getting it on both sides. I'll take it off. First just in the middle. and now it's on. Now it's taking up both sides of the mix because you have one side that's kind of set off from each other. So if usually they should be both coming at you at the same time, but instead there's one that's one coming a little bit earlier than the other, right? So it kind of gives you the feeling that there's two at the same time. I always love to use that effect. I'll throw a little reverb here on this little tambourine-like piece here. Give it a big room. Really I want to hear the reverb there, right? I'll be getting somewhere now. So I'll play with some bass lines a little bit later on another episode. But essentially this is the groove method right there. So it goes from Billie Jean beat to this. That's pretty much it. This is how you're gonna get, your own sort of rhythmic pattern by using these methods, right? So if you're struggling to try and get the type of swing, syncopation, groove that you hear in a lot of these tracks, Dr. Dre, DJ Khalil, and Fred Wreck, and Fingers, and Shashu, and Kaytranada, and all these, this really, really heavy, funky sound, Dame Funk, it just goes on. If you want that kind of sound, this is one of the ways that I, get to achieve that sound by essentially working with each and every one of the elements and then either deciding to quantize that element and push and pull that element within the rhythm pattern. And that is essentially the groove method, right? So next up, we're going to play with some bass lines, and I'm going to take you through some of the basics for, through all the elements, a little bit of mixing, a little bit of sound design, how to make all those elements really gain their own life and their own characteristics so that by the time you start looking at your mix, everything is sort of already there for you. You're not necessarily struggling to make a mix from all the elements that you have. You already have that mix there. It's already kind of mapped out because all of your elements have a bit of a characteristic. They all have a bit of a story to tell just by the sound of it. And so I'm going to try my very best to give you some different methods that's going to help you build on whatever elements that you have, give you some inspiration to help you build on the elements that you have, and then how to kind of police it afterwards, right? So you just want to kind of just go crazy, stacking different plugins and chains and stuff on top of the sound until you find something that you like or find something that's kind of unique, and then you police it afterwards with some more traditional mixing concepts and rules and things like that, right? So that's what's coming up next. This is the way of the Stank. What I've just showed you guys is the groove method. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and come back soon. We're gonna do some more very much shorter videos, and we're gonna have some fun. All right, y'all. Peace. Way to Stank.